yarny friends, I'm on here today to do a tutorial for you to make a yarn skein. What? A yarn skein, or more affectionately known as a yarn buddy. Oh my gosh, you guys, he's super cute and he just gets cuter and cuter with different yarns that you make. So the tutorial is going to be for this size. It is like a backpack buddy size, or a project bag buddy size, or a purse, or a Riverview mirror, or the Christmas tree. You can make it an ornament. Just don't put this part on it and put a hook on it instead, and maybe do the face in this direction. So I'm going to show you a few versions real quick of what I have. So this all was birthed from my love of yarn. And look at this one. Look at this. This is a discontinued yarn. And now it'll be forever memorialized in a skein of yarn. I love this buddy. I love it. I have made so many cute different versions of him that I'm going to be really excited to see what skeins of yarn you make your little yarn buddy to be. This tutorial is quick. It's easy. It's almost no-sew. It's beginner friendly. And I just hope that you enjoy it. Please know that I am chronically sick and I am bedridden the majority of the time. I know I had to get dressed up for this occasion because I'm excited and I could. So be kind in your comments. I'm really new at tutorials and I tried super duper hard. I want to give you a couple other great ideas for this. You could also use it real quick before the tutorial. Oh, no, I'm trying to do this so it doesn't get too long. You can put it in a yarn bowl, or someone said a cat toy. You could make it a cat toy. Excellent idea. Just don't use safety eyes for your animals or for little kids. Please, 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 if you're going to make a yarn buddy for children or pets, embroider the eyes. So that's it. I'm super excited. I hope you guys will show me your makes. I will link down below my Facebook group or my email. If you don't do Facebook, I would love to see your makes. Always remember to like, subscribe, share, and I think that's it. Now for the items you need to make it, and then the tutorial. For this tutorial, to make this cute little guy, you're going to need, for the body of the yarn buddy, you're going to need a 4-weight yarn. I am using Bernat Super Value in the colorway Aqua, and you'll probably only need around 7 grams of that, give or take a little bit. For the ball band, you'll need a 4-weight as well. I'm using a Lion Brand Skein Tones in the colorway Almond, and you'll only need 2 to 3 grams of that to make him. I used a 6mm crochet eye, and I use these backings because they're my favorite. And I used a little bit, this is like a fusible fleece. I'm starting to use fabric more often, scrap pieces. They work really well too. So 6mm. You'll need for the embroidery, this is embroidery floss, black. I don't know what this color is, but it's a shade of pink. You will need a 3.5mm crochet hook, or your size of choice for a 4-weight yarn. You're gonna need a pair of scissors. I use 2 sizes of darning needles. This is for the embroidery floss, and then this is just so much easier, so I use that when I can. This is just a clip that I got from Hobby Lobby. Always get it half off. wait for them to, or 40% off or something like that. I use this for a stitch marker, but you can use to keep track of my rows, or you could use a stitch marker. So that's all that's needed. Let's get started making this cutie pie. Oh, and at the end of the video, I'll show you the size hooks I used. If you want to use a bigger yarn, it's the exact same pattern. You just change up your hook size and you just add a couple more single crochets for the ball band to make it wider. But I'll share with you what those sizes that I used, but you could use whatever you feel that would be best. So let's get started. We're starting with the main body color, so the color that you want this part to be. We are going to make this first. Looks like a little peanut. So this so start with whatever color you want your yarn skein to be, and later this will be your yarn band color. So the yarn skein color of choice, you are going to, I'm using a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook and a 4-weight yarn or a worsted. I'm going to make a magic ring. You can make it however you like. I like to use the double magic ring version. There's lots of tutorials on YouTube. It's too hard for me to teach you it, but it makes your center knot come open. And then I always like to pull this little piece right here out because it helps me when closing my ring up. So we are going to start with 6 single crochets in your magic ring or magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to close it up. And so then you just want to pull on the one that pulls nicely, and I just happened to choose the right one. It pulls easily. I don't close it all the way up. And then on the little piece of thread yarn I have that doesn't have the end, I pull that all the way and pull it tight. And then it's closed and it will not come back open. So you can either use a stitch marker. I like to use a really small piece of ribbon to mark my beginning and end of rows. And sorry guys, I have to use this. Oh no, it's very hard to get that on and off. Okay. Now we're going to make, for row 2, we're going to make 6 increases. So that is 2 single crochets in each stitch. So 1, 2, that's our first one. 1, 2, that's our second one. 1, 2, that's our third increase. 1, 2, that's our fourth increase. 1, 2, that's our fifth increase. And 1, 2, that's our sixth increase. And now we have a total of 12 single crochets. In round 3, we are going to single crochet increase 6 times. So single crochet in the first stitch, and then an increase. That means 2 in one stitch. and that was our first set. Then we're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch and then increase in the next one. That's 2. Single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase. For round 4, 5, and 6, so a total of 3 rounds, you're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch. So for rounds 4, 5, and 6, it is 1 single crochet in each stitch. And I will meet you at the end of round 6. So I have finished round 6, and let's count our rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 rounds, and so for round 7, we are going to do 2 sets of decreases and a single crochet. We're going to do that 3 times, and then a decrease and a single crochet. So our first set of decreases, 1 and then 2. You want to take, do you see the V right here? If you're new, you want to do, it's called an invisible decrease, where you only grab the front loop of each of your 2 stitches to make your decrease. This helps fill in gaps. So I did 1 decrease, and now I'm doing my second decrease, and then I'm doing a single crochet. And I'm going to repeat that 2 more times. Decrease, 1, decrease, 2, single crochet, decrease, 1, decrease, 2, single crochet, decrease. This time it's only to be 1 decrease, and then a single crochet. And that's the end of round 7. So for rounds 8, 9, and 10, we are going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch. So now you should have 11 single crochets after you did all those decreases. So now you're going to do 11 single crochets for each round, a total of 3 rounds. So I'm going to meet you at the end of round 10. So we are at the end of round 10, and now we are going to make round 11. This one we're going to be increasing, so we're going to be making 2 increases in the next stitch, 2 increases in the next stitch, and 1 single crochet. We're going to do that 3 times. And in the last 2 stitches, we're going to do an increase and a single crochet. So I'll do this with you. I need to pull this just a little tighter. So we are going to do an increase. That's our first increase. That's 2 single crochets in the first stitch. We're going to do an increase, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So that's 1 set. Then we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next, 2 single crochets in the next, 1 single crochet. That's our second set. Then we're going to do 2 single crochets, then 2 single crochets in the same stitch again. It's your increase. We're going to place 1 single crochet in the next stitch. We're going to do our last increase, which is 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and then 1 more single crochet. So now you're back at 18 single crochets. So we are at the end of round 11. And I like to stop here and fill this bottom area with some stuffing. So I just pull up on that so I don't lose a stitch. And grab some stuffing and start pushing it in there. Now you can stuff it as lightly or as firmly as you like. I'm just gonna keep pushing it in there until I'm happy with it. I like to push it all around, all the make sure, not all, there's no corners, all the spots have it. I think mine needs some more stuffing. I like to be generous with my stuffing. It helps it keep its shape and not get misshapen. I'm going to be pushing it around the outsides. And I think that is enough because I'm going to, for now, I'm happy with that. So let me get my hook back. Let me fix it all up. Alrighty. So now we are on round 12. And what we're going to do is place 1 single crochet in each stitch. And we're going to do that for rounds 12, 13, 14, and 15. So we're going to do 4 rows of single crochets in each stitch. So each row will have 18 stitches, and you will do that for 4 rows. And I will meet you at the end of round 15. So I am at the end of round 15. So let's count them for those of you maybe are new. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You can tell it's these bumps that you're counting to figure out your rows. So we're at the end of round 15. So for round 16, we are going to do a decrease and a single crochet. So 6 times. So we're going to do an invisible decrease in the first 2 stitches. Then a single crochet in the next stitch, a decrease in the next 2 stitches, a single crochet, decrease, single crochet. Oh no, I need more yarn. Decrease, single crochet. I'm just going to finish this row with you. I'll make it easier for editing. And here's my last set of decrease, single crochet. I'm going to stop here and stuff. Put more stuffing. You can reach down in there nicely. Get some stuffing up here. I'm going to get it down in the bottom. Fill up that bottom half. I just like to, I'm not graceful, guys. I know, like, I can't say her name. She's like, just take a little bit at a time. I'm like, I want to be done. Let me just shove that in there, and then I'll mess with it once it's in it. Sorry, it's hard to stuff something on camera. Oh, no. And this little stuff is harder because it's just so fluffy. It's so fluffy. So I'm shoving it in my middle. That feels good. Making sure my edges, I need a little bit more, but I can still put a little bit more when we do our last round. But I'm happy with where it is right now. Make it go all the way around. Alrighty. Okay. This is our last round for our yarn Skein, the body color. I'm going to pull that over there. Let me get my little yarn holder. I'm not sure. Can't remember what that's called. So, for round 17, our last round is going to be all decreases, all invisible decreases. We're going to do 6 of them. So 1, 2, oh no, there's a little stuffing. 3, 4, 5, 6. So, to determine how long you need your to fasten off and leave your a length for sewing in, I want to leave it, I'm going to make mine 20 inches. If you don't want this little loop right here on yours to then, whoops, I should have grabbed this one, to make it like a backpack buddy, if you don't want that, then you only need like 6 inches to leave to sew it in and close it up. But if you want something like this, I think it's like 15 to 20 inches. I'm going to do 20 inches and let's see how that, oh, sorry, that works out. So let me cut my yarn because I got a little measuring thing. So I cut 20 inches. That's basically what it looks like. So you can, a lot of people fasten off or they slip stitch in the next one to fasten off. So they take it and slip stitch. You can do that, or you can just, I just pull it through because I'm going to be sewing it in and it doesn't matter. Now I'm going to take this out real quick. This was to count my rows. The reason why I like this is you can see each row. Let's say I messed up and I messed up 4 rows back, I can pull out 4 rows. But if I messed up and I needed to go, I wouldn't know which row or where I messed up. Right now I could rip out to each row to see where I messed up. If you only had a stitch marker and you messed up, then you just gotta live with your mess up. So this has saved me more times than I want to admit. And for me, it's just worth it to pick this out at the end because, you know, you have to move the stitch marker all the time. So it's about the same. So there you go. That's out. Now I'm going to take my darning needle and I'm going to close up the hole. Oh wait, I feels like I need a little more stuffing. So I'm gonna carefully stuff more in there. When you have just a little hole, I take the end of my hook and push some more yarn. I mean, no yarn. You could. More stuffing in there. I need just a tad bit more. Just put as much in there as you feel it needs. I find because this stuff is so fluffy, if I make a little circle, it kind of stays put and helps me push it in there better. Get in there! Alrighty. I think that looks even. I like it. Okay. So you should have 6 stitches to pick up the front loop only to pull it through, but I actually do 7, I think. Let's see. I think I kind of go over it because there will be a loose little loop that I like to pull in. So there's one. You go just under the first loop. Don't do both because this is called it's like invisible. It helps you not have a gap in your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my 6th one, and see there's this little loop right here. I always do that one too. So it's so even though we had 6 stitches, I went through 7 loops. And you pull that closed. Then I go through the middle of this and just out the side a little bit. And there's a reason, because now we're going to do our chain. So that's pulled close. Take the darning needle out, grab your hook. And I'm going to go in the center, but I don't want to grab it right there. So this is so I don't have to, this makes it no-sew. I go to the side a little bit, and now I'm going to grab that yarn, and then I'm going to pull it through that center. Now look, I got to make a chain without, I didn't have to cut my yarn, sew on, do anything. I just am using the rest of my long tail. That's the word, my long tail. So I'm going to do 10 or 11 chains. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh no! It's getting little. 10. There's my loop. So I'm good with 10. If you want it longer, then you would just leave like 30 inches for a tail. Now I'm going to go back in that center right there. I'm going to put my hook in there, and I'm going to take the end tail piece, wrap it around, pull it through, then pull it through that stitch. And then I'm going to just pull it all the way out. There we go. And now I'm going to take my darning needle to weave in that end and make sure it's down really, really good. But look, you didn't have to cut or anything. So do you see you kind of have this bump? It's kind of like sticking up a little bit. Go back through the center. Doesn't have to be perfect or exact. I go back through the center. Oh no! There we go. And pull it down. And then just push it down a little bit. And then boom, look, it's ready. So weave it in a few times. Or lots of times, however much you want to do it to feel secure. Where's that end? There it is. Let me pull this back a little bit. I'm going to do it a couple more times. Might as well use up as much as that little tail that I have. There we go. Okay, one last time. I'm just going to make it go through the end over here. Grab my scissors. I always pull up just a little bit to make it a little extra taut, but don't get too close. Cut it and then push on it, and then it'll hide back inside. So there we go. We got our little peanut. Looks like a little peanut. So now we are going to make the yarn band. The band that goes around the yarn. And hey guys, so now it's time to add the ball band. And I've been trying to figure out how to show you the best way to put the ball band, to start it on here, because that's how I did it. Just, it helps less sewing to do. You could do it separately, but I like to do it on there. So I added these stitch markers just for reference to help you see. You're going to need your 3.5 millimeter crochet hook and your ball band color of choice. And it's a 4-weight yarn. We are going to make a slip knot, and you want to leave maybe 5 inches, and you'll see why. For your tail on that end, we have our slip knot. I'm going to get this all ready so I can show you guys. So I put the stitch markers. You don't have to. I did it just to show you, but you can. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, this is the 7th one, and I attached one into the middle of the 7th and 8th, and then I counted over here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and again between 7 and 8 on that side. I put a stitch marker just to show you, to give you show you where we want our 4 single crochets to go on the ball band. So I'm going to start over a little away from it, but in this groove right here, let me get closer. I'm going to take my crochet hook and go, it's hard to go right here, and I'm going to attach my yarn. I got to get it in my hand. I'm going to attach my yarn right there. So I'm going to go put it in there, yarn over, and pull it through to attach it. And then I'm going to make my first single crochet. Oh no, it's a little, your first one's always your hardest one. Then we're going to like zigzag a little bit, but you'll hide that. We're going to zigzag it to make 3 more single crochets. So we're going to, because right next to it, if you wanted a straight line, there isn't anything to attach to. So you're going to go up. So you're going to go to the next row over, go under it, right there. Oh, there we go. Yarn over, pull through, and make your second single crochet. Very, very hard to show you this. And then now you want to go, see there's nothing right next to it. So go, you're going to be zigzagging, go to the next stitch back a little bit, go under there, do a single crochet, then your 4th one you want to go back up. See how it's kind of up down to go into this one, go under it, yarn over, pull it through, and make a single crochet. That's just the hardest part, but now you're attached. It just makes it easier to do it this way. Now you have 4 single crochets, pretty, you know, centered. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now you're going to chain 1. You're going to turn your work. We can take these out. They were just to help you see. And then you're going to do 4 single crochets across. 1, 2, 3, 4. That last one's just a little tricky. 4. And now we're going to chain 1, turn. And we're going to continue like this, making 4 single crochets back and forth until we're going to do 15 rows, and then we'll see if that is enough or if we need more. Because what you're going to want to do, let me do one more row just to show you. One, two, three, four. Alrighty. So we want to make this go around and meet. So we want this to go around and meet all the way back to the end here. So if you notice, if you fold it this way, there's a bump that kind of sticks out at you. You want it to fold where it's kind of smooth. It's like a smooth bump, and you want to crochet all the way until you reach here. I'm going to do 15 rows, and let's see if 15 rows is enough to reach around. I have written down 15, but everybody's yarn weights could be slightly different. Your tension can be slightly different. So you might need 2 more rows or 2 less rows. So I'll meet you back after we've done 15. So I have done 15 rows, and I need, I would say, 4 more rows to reach all the way to there. So I'm going to do those with you real quick. So chain 1, do 4, chain 1, 4, oh no. That was this will be my 3rd row, so 18. This is row 18. And then this will be, oh no, row 19. And let's see how well we meet up. So for me, I'm at 19 rows, and da-na-na-na, I need one more. So for me, I needed 20 rows. That's odd, you know, I had 15 on one, so I guess it really just depends on your yarn. And I've made a lot of these. For the bigger, the 5 bulky and the 6 super bulky, I actually needed like 26 rows. So, yep. So that was perfect. What did I say? We're at 20 rows. That's how many it took me to go all the way around. So now I'm going to cut my yarn, but I'm not going to tie it down yet, but I want to leave. All right, guys, sorry about that. So you want to now cut your yarn, but you want to leave a long tail. I would say roughly 15 inches, and you'll see why in a bit. So I cut roughly 15 inches, and I'm going to pull that through and just let it be for now. So now we're going to work on the face for your yarn buddy. So remember, you want it to not fold where this bump is. You want it to fold where it folds smooth. And then you want to make your face go roughly, if this is where they're going to meet, roughly the other side. It doesn't have to be exact or perfect. So somewhere around here. Okay, I have my 6mm safety eyes, and I'm going to put them, I like to look for the best even spot I can. So see that little V? See how there's a V right there? I'm going to try to stick it right there in the middle of that V. Sometimes you got to work it in there just so you're grabbing some fibers. So then I want to take this next V over here, and do that in the middle of that V. So I'm grabbing some fibers. Normally I would put some either scrap fabric in the back of this to help it. Oop, I did just a horrible job. I didn't even get it in the V. Oh, hold on. Let me work at getting that in there. Just takes a little effort. There we go. So, because you don't want to put them in the hole. You don't want to stick them through these holes right here that you see, because then they're just going to come right back out. You want to make sure you're grabbing a little bit of fiber. And then also, normally I would cut a little bit of this up and put it back here. Oh no, let me show you. So I would take a piece of this, make it a little bit smaller. Just don't want this tutorial to be, it's gonna be crazy long. And then you stick it on here. And then for this one, you have to trim it up. There we go. See, you got a piece there. Gonna take this one, trim it up a little bit. This helps it have something to grab onto so it won't go through. Okay, so it won't pull through. I'm going to trim it up a little bit because it'll show. Alrighty. Now I'm going to put my backs on. You don't have to do any of this. You don't need to have him have safety eyes. You can just, oh no. Embroider the eyes on. He doesn't have to have eyes if you don't want him to have a face. It can just be a regular skein. Let me get these on really good. There we go. So there's his eyes. Oh, there we go. Now look, you're going to be like, oh no, look at the eyes. How do you get them in there? When we're done with the face, we're going to find some little holes. We're going to pull it into where we push them down in the holes. Then when you sew it together, you're going to take your long thread, your tail, and you were going to weave it in and out so this stays down. So now we're going to grab some, I got a little piece of embroidery. We're going to embroider the face on him. Luckily I have a long fingernail. I can just push. Alrighty, I got my black embroidery thread. You can use whatever you want. Again, I tried to grab some, you don't want it just to go in the holes, you want to kind of try to go in between some fibers to make him smile. Leave a little tail to tie it. Try to go roughly in the same area. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then I go down a little bit. And pull it back up. Then I'm going to go around it, and this will help keep the smile down and in place. Boom, we got a smile. Hello. Let's do some eyebrows. These little ones, you just don't have as much room. Well, he's going to have to go in that hole right there. I think it'll be fine. Boom. That's good. This one's going to go in that hole, but this one the second part needs to grab a little fiber. Go in a stitch. I think that's good. Then on the back, I'm gonna sew it. I'm gonna tie a knot. Three times. 1, 2. Oh no, I'm gonna cut my little ends off. It's a hot mess back there, but it doesn't matter. Oh, his eyebrow didn't turn out the best. I can do it better off of camera. It's very hard to do things on camera. And then I'm going to do some cheekies. Alrighty. So I'm gonna go in this spot. For the cheeks, you gotta leave a little tail in the back. I wrap it around 5 times. I do a French knot. This is not a tutorial for that. I barely can do this myself. I wrap it around 5 times. You got to make sure you go in a different spot so it has something to grab onto. If you need more help on how to do a French knot, you look it up on YouTube for a tutorial. So here's his other side. Again, you wrap it around your needle 5 times. I do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you want to go in a different spot so it has something to hang on to, or you'll just pull it through. Oh no! So there we go. There's his face. Ta-da! Hello! So now I'm going to tie this. That's scary back there, but that's okay. I'm going to tie it and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm done. This is what my back side looks like. Ah! But this is what the front side looks like. Now I'm going to pull it, not tight, just loosely. Pull it around, make it go, you know, where I want it to go. Make sure I'm happy. And then these guys right here, you want to make sure they get pushed into some of these holes in there. See how they just push into the holes? And then boom. Now it's time to grab your darning needle. And we're gonna sew this together, and then we're gonna do some stitches around here so it stays down so nobody can get to those eyes. So it doesn't really matter how you sew these together. I just kind of go through a loop here, pick up a loop there, pick up a loop there, and do it like this. Pick up a loop. It can be however you want to sew it together. Oh no, it's wrapped around. Tutorials are harder than you think. Okay, then there and there. Just sew them together. Just so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's the back side. It's all the same color. It kind of blends in. Now I'm going to go here and I'm going to go in here and then just out somewhere over here. I'm going to work my way over to the eyes. Then I'm going to go back in. Make sure you cross over some threads. Go back in and go up. It doesn't matter where. You just want to put a few stitches around where the eyes are so it just stays down. so then it stays secure. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to try to go back where the eyes are, the other side of the eyes. It doesn't matter where, just anywhere to help tack down where the eyes are. Alrighty, I think that's good enough. I did a horrible job right there, but it just blends in. For the sake of the tutorial, that's good enough. You can be more careful. So then I'm going to go down and just out anywhere. So I'm going to go down and out right about there. Looks good. Again, it doesn't matter. This is just to tie it off. I'm going to take that one piece of yarn in, and I'm going to go down and then up where I put this one, so I can tie these together so it'll be secure. Now I'm going to tie a knot. Boom. I like to always do 3. Gonna cut it. And then you just take this and you push it in there and hide it. There you go. So he is done. Woohoo! Now you can add your keychain. If you want to make him a keychain, you can add that. I just happen to have this. I pry it open to keep it open like that, and then you can slip it on, and then ta-da, he's a backpack buddy. He's a project bag buddy. He's a purse buddy, any kind of a bag, wherever you want to hang him. He's super duper cute, and he's bigger. If you use bigger weight yarns, I will, if you use bigger weight yarns, you want to use bigger hooks. For this guy, for the Pick Squeak, I used a 6mm, but I still used for the ball band a 3.5mm. I just did 6 stitches across and used a 8mm safety eyes, but for the body I used a 6mm crochet hook. So depending on the different types of yarn you use, you might need to go up a hook only for the yarn skein. The ball band will be the same hook, same size yarn, a 4 weight, and you just do more stitches across. So anywho, my battery's running out. I think that's it. I hope I remembered everything. And oh, show me your guy on my Facebook or email me. It's in the description box below. Come join my Facebook group or email me a picture of your yarn buddy. Yay! I wanted to go over real quick the different size needle crochet hooks I used. So for the Antoinette yarn, I actually used a 6mm hook only for the yarn skein itself. For the yarn band, no matter what size yarn I used for the yarn ball, for the band I always used a 4 weight yarn and a 3.5mm hook. The only thing I changed was how many single crochets I did across and how many rows I needed for the band. So you can adjust that to what you like. Like this one I did 6. I don't know how many rows I did until it meets. But you can change the eyes into an 8mm if you want. I believe these are 8mm, and these are a 10 or a 12, I can't remember. So for that one I used the 6. For this Yarn Bee Soft Illusion yarn, I used a 6 as well, just for the yarn skein itself. Again, I do the same weight for the ball band. For this one, I actually did, do you see how these are different? I actually did the face in this direction. This is homespun yarn, and for homespun, I used a 5mm hook just for the yarn. This one is the hoogie yarn. I don't think I'm saying that right. And I used a 5mm hook for the yarn skein. And then for a velvet yarn, I actually used a 5mm for that one. And for dolphin baby, I used a 5.5 hook just for the yarn skein part. Again, the ball band 3.5mm hook. Still use the worsted weight for every band I've used, and I would make it either 4, 5, or 6 single crochets across, depending on how wide I wanted my band to look and just how many rows you need to go to the end. Super duper cute. I'm going to measure them all real quick for you, for those of you that are interested. This one is 5 inches. This one is roughly 4.5. This one's roughly 4.5. 4, 4, 4 inches. This one is 3 inches, and that one's 3 inches. Sorry, my arm was in there. Is the only way I could do it. So cute!